Let's talk about productivity. 8 months ago, I graduated from college and I did all the stuff that they say will set you up for success in college, but I still have not secured a full-time job in my field. This really discouraged me for a while, and I did hit a point where I really was dramatic and thought my life was over. I was confused and honestly more than anything embarrassed because when you try so hard for something and it doesn't work out, you can't help but think that the problem is you. But over time, I realized that I was and still am in just a kind of in-between period of my life. I'm still only 22 years old and there's still so much life to live and so much time to figure things out. And I found a couple different ways to keep myself sane. And I know a lot of you guys might be in similar situations to me right now. As we all know, the job market is pretty bad right now. So I hope this video brings some motivation to you guys. First is just to take intentional breaks. This ties into almost every other point that I'm going to mention later on, but I think this is so important, especially if you come from a background or mindset that is very hustle culture. You can't help but think that you constantly need to be working or doing something and like working towards a goal actively, like every single moment of the day. And I reached a point where I realized I was so burnt out, and anytime I touched a job application or thought about it, it was just weighing on me like very heavily. And I realized I was burning myself out before I even started every single day. So I decided to take a break and fully step back and actually have a break without feeling guilt. So instead of forcing productivity 24/7, I spent time to really rest and take things slower. Basically taking anything that was a break and not thinking about productivity. And I think I previously was in a mindset where I thought rest meant that I was lazy, but after some time, I've realized that rest really, it's like the same as like working out, where you gotta take rest days so that you can come back stronger and like more fresher for the next day. Next is to hobby max and just spend a bunch of time with your friends. Because I have a bit of a break in my life right now, or I guess I wasn't giving myself a break because I was trying to be productive 24/7, but I do have a little more freedom and flexibility in my schedule, so I really try to take advantage of it. So I try to spend a lot of time doing my hobbies and doing it with friends as well. So I've been doing a lot of running, a lot of reading, a lot of snowboarding. Just little things to make you excited and look forwards to outside of the productivity that you're trying to achieve. I also think that when life is really uncertain, hobbies do give you a more sense of control. It also is a good reminder that there are things outside of you besides your productivity level or your career status. And one hobby that I really want to show you guys is my little Sudoku book. If you guys are not doing Sudoku, you are missing out. So I got into Sudoku like in the past year. I have this book that I got for really cheap, like at a CVS. You can also get them on like Amazon or pretty much anywhere. I also have just like random pages of Sudoku laying around in my house. I feel like it's so nice because it's like a puzzle basically. But it's also so convenient because if I'm like sometimes like commuting, taking a bus, or just like even in the morning when I'm eating breakfast, I can like easily pull this out and just work on it. And I like trying to try the different levels that there are. So sometimes even like an easy is like difficult for me, but I have done like mediums and hards as well. So I'm trying to build my way up. I also like competing with my friends and my mom. My mom's also into Sudoku. So sometimes it's just like fun to like kind of time yourself and see how fast you can get it. Next is to build a routine. So even though I don't have a full-time job yet, I decided to work 2 part-time jobs currently just so I can still kind of support myself financially. But aside from the financial aspect, it also helps give me a little bit more structure in my day. Having the routine of still needing to get up and get ready and go to work, even if it's not what I plan to do for the rest of my life, still gives me a sense of responsibility and purpose. Sometimes this does get to me a little bit though, like it tires me out just because I do work at a coffee shop 4 days of the week and my shifts start at 6:45 a.m. So I do have to get up pretty early, like a lot earlier than I previously was used to. But I think I'm kind of becoming a morning person. I used to actually consider myself a morning person, but I really thought that meant like getting up at like 7:30, or like even 8, just like before 8:30. But now that I get up at 6 a.m. like consistently, I've really realized I guess I wasn't that much of a morning person. I was a morning-ish person. I will say the hardest part is the fact that it is still dark when I get up. I do think if it was bright outside, it would be a lot easier. I think it's like the psychological aspect of it, of like, oh, it's still dark. But it is nice because my day tends to end earlier when I work because my shift ends so early and I still have the rest of the day to go do plans with friends, like eat out, get lunch, or just like work on other things that I have to work on. And this by no means has to be in the form of working. Mine just happens to be like that. But it can be something even as simple or small as having a set sleep schedule. So, like going to bed at a certain time and waking up at a certain time. So, you feel like there is a regular cadence to your schedule. Another example could be like doing certain chores on certain days of the week. So that way you know that there is always something expected that's coming. I think all of this is really important because when everything feels so uncertain, this will allow you to feel like you are somewhat in control. Let's get ready to go work my shift at Abercrombie today. I have been working at Abercrombie for about 4 years now. So I started working there the summer before I left for college. And then I kind of worked on and off just when I was like back for breaks and things like that. And then my senior year of college, I actually worked at Abercrombie like part-time at a place near my school since I had a more free schedule. And when I started working there 4 years ago, I never really thought I would still be working there again like 4 years down the line. But I do actually really, really enjoy it. But I've always been really lucky and had great managers at Abercrombie that I think make my experience of working there a lot more enjoyable. I also like the people that I work with. When I actually got hired at the cafe that I work at now, I considered dropping working at Abercrombie completely just because it was a little hard with my schedule. But like I said, my managers are really nice and they let me stay on even if I'm working significantly less. So that was really nice. It's really flexible with my schedule and I get to just decide when I want to pick up shifts for other people or like help cover other people. And on top of it, I also really like working at Abercrombie because I get to dress up. I don't really get dressed super nice for the coffee shop just because like I tend to spill things pretty often and I don't want to ruin my clothes. So, and then also my clothes end up smelling like coffee after like every single one of my shifts. But for Abercrombie, I get to look a little bit nicer. So this is the outfit for today's shift. My jeans are just these barrel jeans. They're not from Abercrombie. I do also own a lot of Abercrombie jeans. They actually are really nice, especially since they have different lengths and I'm really, really short, so I wear the extra short. So they actually do fit me really well. This top I actually got from China a couple months ago. It has this cute little scarf situation, but not really feeling it today. I feel like it's a little too much for work, you know? Just a little too much. Just this, and then I tied my hair up in just a little half up because sometimes I get a little overstimulated when I'm like trying to fold things and I'm looking down or I'm at like checking someone out at the register and my hair is like falling all in my face. So I do tend to like to put it up in like a claw clip or just have it up. But I'm gonna head soon. Next is to journal and reflect. I journal almost every single day, and this ranges from the topic of what I'm journaling about. It could just be a brain dump, it could be gratitude, it can be goal setting. There's honestly no boundaries to any of this. But writing at least helps me process things. I want to show you guys my journal really quickly. So All the past few journals that I've had, I was able to get at farmers markets. They're handmade and they're upcycled from old books. So the one that I'm currently using is, I think it used to be like a bartender booklet guide situation, and they basically create a new binding on it and add pages in between so you can write. And then like the inside cover, like look how cool this is. And then in between is just a bunch of blank pages so you can write. But outside of just like regularly journaling, I also do a lot of junk journaling, which if you don't know, it's basically just collecting free things when you go around. So it can be like free stickers, even like your receipt, basically anything. And then you just kind of like scrapbook journal it all together in the end. And I like to do this a lot after I go on vacation. Like this is when I went to China a couple months ago. This is one of the pages I did for it. So this, we got like my sister and I got a blind box. So this card is from that. We went to a bakery. This is from the bag and I kept it. It's a little annoying sometimes though, because when I junk journal, things are a little like thicker or more 3D. Like this whole ribbon that I put in here, it'll make it a little bit harder to write on the pages afterwards because your journal is not flat, but I still do it because I really like it. Some more. Oh, when we were in China, we drank like a bunch of milk tea. So up here, I did a stamp for every single milk tea that we got. Here's another one that I did recently. This is from post-Florida trip that I just had with my sister last month where we went to Disney and Universal. So we have some receipts, and like this is from a paper bag where I bought something from the Coca-Cola store in Disney Springs. Yeah, another receipt. I do have a couple things that I just have on hand for like journaling and scrapbooking. So I really like washi tape, and then I also have stamps, which are really, really cute. And more importantly, it allows me to track my growth as well. I think a lot of times when you don't spend time to reflect on your life, you feel like life is very stagnant and that there is no growth. But in reality, I look back at a lot of the things that I write, not just like months ago, but even just like a week ago. And I can see the current mindset I was in at the time versus how I am now, and how even within like a week, my mindset has shifted or changed. And it just reminds you that when you are in a very difficult time of your life, it's not going to stay like that forever. And the last thing that I want to talk about is setting small goals. So I am currently training for a half marathon in March, which I guess you could consider this a medium size-ish goal. It's definitely by no means like a small goal. Like I know a half marathon is not easy, but it was a goal that I kind of had always wanted to set for myself, and I was like, why not just do it now? And it's something that is within the foreseeable future. So between the time that I chose to sign up for this and when I actually will run it, it was about like 3.5 months. So I was like, okay, this is a goal that I can actively work towards and see progress as I go. And when things in life are so long term and large scale, it's hard to lose focus on the little things that you can work towards as well. This is also a tangible goal, so it keeps me really motivated to see my progress as I track my runs every single week and see like my mileage going up, my times getting faster. And these small goals really create momentum, which is what's really important. So as you can imagine, I have been running a lot. In training of my half marathon, I actually ran 12 miles yesterday, which is the most I've ever run in my life, ever. So I am really proud of myself for that. I will say the run was obviously very difficult. I was stupid and I decided to hit leg days, like my first ever time lifting heavy in over a month, like the day before I had to run this. So my legs were so sore going into it. And by mile 6, I could really feel like my legs were like done. I like was not even sure I was going to be able to finish the run. I did have to take a quick break in the middle to drink water, but I did finish in the end. And I think this is a really good example of how a goal outside of a productivity goal can still help make you feel like your life is going somewhere as well. Since I have been reflecting a lot in journaling, I do feel like I have a little bit more clarity on what I kind of want to focus my energy and time on in the next few months going forward. And it is scary because a lot of what I want to do right now doesn't necessarily align with what I studied, and it might not even be aligned to a traditional corporate 9 to 5, which is what I feel like, at least me personally, I was always set to believe that that was the path I was going to take, or the most realistic, safe path. So there is a lot of fear and worry, but even as I do have a little bit more direction with my life now, there is still so much uncertainty that I am able to grasp and stay grounded through these different tasks, especially with having a routine. But I do want to let all of you guys know that you aren't behind, you're just figuring things out, and that is totally fine. And sometimes I think that is exactly where you're meant to be. I hope that this video helps some of you guys, and I hope you guys will stick around so we can figure out life together. I'll see you guys next time.